All right. What's going on? There's a couple things that have happened.
Xbox is either completely fine or in the process
Oh,
of
we're finally here now.
burning down one or the other.
I mean,
That
so we were wondering and what the speculation was going to be because it's like, is Xbox going to just become a software only company? Are they going to echo the karma of Sega and just pull out of the hardware business? According to an internal message from Phil Spencer, he told employees that they would continue to work with hardware and that they're not pulling out of hardware. But there's going to be an announcement next week with a strategy that involves multiple kinds of devices.
So I would like either of you to stop me if there's any part in which what I say is incorrect or wild speculation. But early last week, we talked about the joke about maybe Starfield would be coming to the PS5 or whatnot. And then discussions and rumors and leaks and whatnot about maybe a large proportion of Xbox games would be coming to the PS5, and that this would represent a change in business for Microsoft and what this could have meant for the company, yada yada yada. And whether or not any of that is true actually seems to be beyond the point, because Phil Spencer responded and said, "Hey, we're going to talk about Xbox stuff, business Xbox stuff next week." And we went, okay. And what ensued is a week of absolutely insane speculation and panic sales from retailers and everybody losing their mind, and Xbox going, yeah, no, we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it. It's gonna be next week. And now we're at today, in which we find out that it's going to be a podcast the day after Valentine's Day, which is an incredibly strange way to talk about any real news with a console. It's not a video. It's not a picture. It's a podcast. What? And again, it's like at the end of the week. And so rampant speculation continues. Even the news that you bring up, Wooly, about Phil Spencer says internally, guys, we're not going to stop making consoles, is in this weird feeling of like the way that it hit me is him walking into a building telling people, I'm definitely not going to lay you off, and then leaving unprompted. What the fuck is going on?
The internal damage control memo. In other words,
I've been laughing about it all morning. People going like, why does it feel like Xbox is going to lay me off? Why is Phil Spencer waiting until the day after Valentine's to break up with us?
I mean, it definitely does feel that like there is. It feels as if anybody was down for a like multi-platform or a platform agnostic future, they would lead the charge on that. But that's only because you're doing so from the losing position, right?
Yeah.
I like I have been saying for years, I expected that like Game Pass would just be the only bright and shining star that could save them.
Oh man, Game Pass is like,
it seems that is not the case. But
every part of internal documentation or speak about Game Pass is like, man, we can't make this run forever. Don't make no money.
But whenever I talk to somebody that plays or uses their Xbox regularly, that's the one thing they talk about. That's the only feature I've heard.
Oh, the thing that makes them anti-money?
Yeah, is where like people I know that are like, oh yeah, Game Pass is great. Still, still just renting shit out and using it that way instead of spending more on the purchases. Like
this is like that restaurant that I go down to
Netflix
down the street.
Netflix for games.
The fake restaurant that doesn't exist that I invented for this example. The restaurant that all the food there is overpriced and it doesn't have as good of a selection. But $1 for a beer. So I go down there and just get wasted and leave, and I don't know. The owner doesn't seem very happy with the arrangement, but I just go down there for drinks. Buy any of the food, the thing they have margins on, fuck that, get out of my face.
There's also something especially tactical about how when we were younger, exclusivity meant this is the only place you can play this game. But
Like for real.
yeah, but now it means if Epic is paying for this, Steam cannot get it. We don't care what you do anywhere else. If PlayStation is paying for this, you cannot put it on Xbox. We don't care.
I don't want it to go to my direct competitor.
Competitor denial.
The same month.
It's not about exclusivity. It's about competitor denial, which is like wild.
FF7's big trailer, the one with all the spoilers in it, it had a very strange marker on the end which said console exclusivity, and then the date was like in May. It's like 2 months later.
Quick. Yeah.
Man.
Or like Square is like, please let us sell this shit to PC like right away.
And I mean, and again, you know it's coming. It's just when. How long is it going to be?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So. We'll find out later this week, I guess, you know.
I'm excited for that podcast.
But speaking of rumors and responding to them.
Oh, before we continue, I was talking to Paige about this, and I'm like, if the phrase "we are deeply committed" appears within the first 30 seconds of that fucking podcast, that company is fucking cooked, man. Cooked.
I mean, it does suck that, like, you know, and many people have pointed this out, that Xbox is constantly on the back foot. They constantly have to explain themselves, you know?
Yeah, the thing is that, again, there's two ways to look at it, right? There's the one way, which is like, you had this coming, you fucked up, you had the lead, you dropped
what
it
was
for
that
stupid
dipshit's
reasons.
name? Don Matrick?
A metric.
Holy fuck.
You know,
terrible.
you dropped the ball, and again, the Sega bit coming back from a way when. You know, and this is reaping what you're sowing. But the other way to look at this too is a world where Sony's the only console that is. I mean, Nintendo's doing its own thing, obviously.
Oh, I don't want that either.
But that's the competition's good. Oh. Competition is good. I'm sure
PlayStation Sam would have a great time with that, but I'm not here for it.
PlayStation Sam is loving a world where where everybody is governed by PlayStation.
Because then Sony will be back on their fucking bullshit.
And then we can experience every product to the maximum, to its maximum potential using the power of the PlayStation. I don't know if you remember, but that's the way he described it when games that were already out elsewhere came to PlayStation later. He's like, yeah, but it wasn't worth playing before. Now that it's available on the PlayStation, it can use the maximum potential of the console to... Anyway.
Oh, yeah. People are pointing out Sony's already back on their bullshit with anime. Is that in here?
Right. That's right, yeah.
What's going down?
So the Crunchyroll / Sony. Sorry, Sony bought Crunchyroll, and then one of them. Fucking Sony owns Crunchyroll and killed Funimation, and now all your Funimation shit is dead. And if your forever copies of Funimation shit don't exist on Crunchyroll, then get fucked. They're dead.
Sick.
And also, we're doubling the fucking price.
So competition is good. It is good to have these things to keep each other in line to fucking... Yeah.
I mean, the PS3 was more expensive than the PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah, $6.99 was
now,
which is crazy. You know?
Old Snake with old Snake with the gun in his mouth. It's $6.99 flashing on the screen. Never forget.
If you want to talk about like anime, it's like, oh man, it sucks that there's no competition for anime. Well, there's probably some other competition somewhere, especially a very a cost-effective competition, which anime will always have to compete with. But
I mean,
that'll fix that,
you ever
and
tried,
we'll just go back to the old status quo.
You ever tried buying a Japanese anime Blu-ray? Yeah.
I started the process once and then went, what the fuck am I doing?
That's about right.
Like I started to like go to the website and start adding things to my cart, and then was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
You have to stop and look at your mouse, like what, like actually, what is happening? Oh fuck! Correct. Okay, so speaking of rumors and consoles, the rumors are coming in this case from Universo Nintendo, which is a site a Brazilian site that previously accurately reported on some Nintendo Direct announcements beforehand and some other stuff. So they've been considered reliable with this, saying that, hey, guess what? The Switch 2 is like one of the worst kept secrets ever. And the list of details they have now are talking about how it'll have backwards compatibility, which
no shit,
for both physical and digital, and notably, you can get Switch 1 games to perform better with the added processing power of Switch 2.
So I feel like this is the kind of rumor that, like, this is a very badly kept secret. Like, you're right, Wooly. Like, we have been hearing bits and pieces from this from all sorts of places for a long time. But even if it wasn't, this is like the most obvious fucking thing in the whole world.
So,
like, it's a foregone conclusion.
It's also, we can quickly confirm, because a part of this leak was that there will be a direct next week and hardware reveal next month. So they're probably getting this information as they're getting access to trailers, footage, translation things, whatever's happening, to ramp up the announcement, as well as a Pokemon presentation. So
I feel like
that's why a lot of people think the Xbox business update podcast on Thursday is tied to probably Nintendo Direct, where they're going to announce Hi-Fi Rush for the Nintendo Switch.
That makes sense.
They did see the shirts. They did extract the Switch. They extracted the Switch shirts and the Xbox shirts and the Sony shirts as well.
It's kind of sad because I like my Switch, but I don't play it that often. And it's nice, like the big announcement of like, there could be a Switch 2 relatively soon and it would play Switch games better. My brain goes, that's great, because there's a lot of Switch games that I'd like to play at even a marginally better frame rate, because holy fucking shit, there's a bunch of shit that came out on that platform that could barely go.
My Switch has started vibrating and buzzing while running normally. It just makes a hum like a loud hard drive, and you hear it spinning quite a bit. It's weirdly, and then it turns off.
It's gonna blow up in your hands, and that's gonna be cool.
It might. It's weird. It's like louder than any other computer or device in my like. It kind of sounds like a Dreamcast used to.
You know what I feel like is like a really good example of my personal view of the Switch right now. It's at my house instead of in my office.
I see. Yeah, there you go.
It's not hooked up to any of this shit next to me for capture.
Nope, none necessary. Is that the fan freaking the fuck out? Yeah, it could be. You gotta clean it out. Okay, I've just kept it docked for the last fucking 3 years. So.
Oh, I haven't turned my Switch on since I stopped playing Hyrule Calamity. What the fuck is the
Bayonetta 3?
Calamity?
No,
Bayonetta 3. You finished Bayonetta 3?
No, I did, but I mean, there's a Zelda game that came out that everybody Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
My brain wanted to say Tears of the Calamity, but that's wrong.
Bayonetta 3 running well. I can't wait.
That'd be nice. I mean, shit. I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, and then I tried to emulate Tears of the Kingdom, and I suck shit at emulation now, and I got frustrated. I'm like, I'll come back to this when the fucking Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah.
I'd take a fucking smoother running. It got everything. Metroid Dread.
Everything. Metroid Dread. Yeah.
I think like they should, if they announce a Switch 2 in the near future, they should show the Musou game, Age of Calamity, as like the poster child for like, look, it's running like a regular video game.
Or the Samurai Showdown trailer, right? Like, those were the two fucking most criminal ones. Yeah, I mean, even if the announcement was, if it was as simple as like, oh, it will now run the way it used to run docked, but undocked, or whatever.
And docked, it'll run a little better even.
Yes.
Oh.
I do know that the new one does have the Ethernet thing, so like that is pre-solved.